Hello, everyone, and welcome to Valley Homes on TV. I'm Debbie Giordano, along with Todd Flesner,
Hello,
co-hosting
everyone.
today. Todd and I are here to give you what's new and about around Milpitas, also events and different folks that make Milpitas a great place to live.
Absolutely.
So if you're tuning in, you're on Channel 26. And Todd, they can watch us on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 6:30 p.m. and Saturday and Sunday at 9 a.m.
I'll tune in all 5 days.
Yeah, all 5 days. Yes. Who have you brought today?
Well, I'd like to have the opportunity to introduce folks to Jennifer Cullenbine. Jennifer is a Milpitas resident, and she runs an organization that's based here in Milpitas that makes a significant impact throughout the Bay Area. So, Jennifer, welcome.
Welcome. Thank you.
Thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule.
My pleasure.
Yeah, so Jennifer, it's great to have you. Now, you don't always go by Jennifer all year long, do you?
Nope.
No.
Nope.
What's your alias? Tell us, please.
Queen Elf.
Queen Elf.
Queen Elf of the Family Giving Tree.
All right, terrific. So we've got the Queen Elf today, and so we'd like to usually start out, get an opportunity for folks to know a little bit more about what makes Milpitas special and who the people are. So maybe tell folks a little bit about your background and what brought you here to Milpitas.
Sure. I've been a Milpitas resident for about 27 years, which is almost exactly the age of my organization, which started as a San Jose State MBA class project. To go out and do something that added value to someone's life. And through a series of events, we ended up having an office donated that we could use for a couple of years here in Milpitas. And so when I was able to buy my first home, I chose Milpitas as a place to live.
Nice. And where were you? You said you're educated at San Jose State.
Mm-hmm.
How about a little prior to that? Where did you actually grow up?
Born and raised in Palo Alto. I think
California.
quite possibly one of the first, if not the first, student registered for the free and reduced lunch price program in Palo Alto. So the school ladies had no idea what my little free lunch card meant. They'd never seen one before. And that's, of course, the target audience for the Family Giving Tree. That's who we serve, is the people that get those free lunches at school now.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, so you're Bay Area native. You have an interesting background. You mentioned that your organization grew out of a class project.
Mm-hmm.
Tell us a little bit more about that.
So it was my MBA class project at San Jose State, and the professor said, go out and do something that adds value to someone else's life and come back and tell us about it. And I had grown up in Palo Alto, and I'd seen a lot of poverty in East Palo Alto, and I really wanted to help 300 children in East Palo Alto have a nice holiday. And so I suggested the Giving Tree as a class project, and the 7 other students kind of shot the idea down and said it wouldn't work. And then right after class, one of the students came up and said, Jennifer, I thought you had a good idea. And I thought I did too. And we just kind of looked at each other and said, let's do it anyway.
Wow, what a story. So Family Giving Tree's been in existence 27 years.
27 years.
Okay, and what is your role? You're Queen Elf, but get a little deeper. What do you actually do for the organization?
So I'm officially an executive director, which in the real world is a CEO. I have a staff of 20, and we spend a lot of our energy trying to find the neediest children in the Bay Area so that when a donor gives us a backpack and school supplies or a holiday gift for a child, we're actually making sure we're getting them to the neediest children in the Bay Area. So we're in very, very much in 7 counties in Silicon Valley serving the poor. And then we focus on, for the back to school drive, the schools that have the highest percentage of kids in the Title I program. So if they have 90% or 95% of the students get free lunch, that's a really needy school. And that's where we're going to try to target our gifts.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Right. Well, and I understand there's something unique about your program that's different than other programs that help out needy children at the holiday time, right? And that's how you reach into specific children's needs. Talk about that.
Well, that's probably one of the more challenging parts of my job, is that once we've targeted the children, we actually have to collect the wishes from them. And so we adopt social service agencies in the Bay Area who already serve these needy families, and they do the interviewing of the students, and they find out their names and their ages, their sizes, what color they want, if they need a pair of shoes, they want pink shoes or purple shoes, whatever. And then they have to turn all those wishes into us. And then I sort through those wishes and make sure that they're all appropriate. Favorite example of not appropriate would be a puppy. Right? Not a good wish. Well, actually a great wish, but not for us. And then I'll make the wish cards and send them out to about 1,000 places in the Bay Area for people to take those cards and provide a gift.
And the end result is then that an individual child winds up with a gift that's been specially chosen for them that meets their needs.
Yes, exactly.
That's
exactly.
neat. So you started in an office, little space here,
Mhm.
Milpitas.
Mhm.
You're naturally you grew to big warehouses, and I know every year at a Rotary meeting you're
Begging.
begging. So how do you seek out those warehouses, and how does that fit into your program? How do
So
you
for
work?
the back to school drive, we need about 50,000 square feet. So that's about a Costco, right? And then for the holiday wish drive, we need 3 Costco sizes of a building, which is crazy. Probably cost us about a couple $100,000 a month to rent if we did to do that. So we beg people. We contact commercial realtors, and we go in the newspapers and on television, and we beg people that know anyone that has some space that we can use. And it's basically for 4 to 6 weeks, twice a year. Generally, they're different buildings. We borrow one in August for one drive and one in December for the holiday drive. And they really are free. So they're very cold. We don't, turn the heat on or anything like that. But they need to be large enough for all of the gifts and all of the volunteers to be there at sorting them.
And part 2 of my question, then, how do you recruit your volunteers?
We actually have an interesting problem of generally having more volunteers that want to come help us than we can serve. And so we had 7,000 people come and do volunteer work at the warehouse just last December, and we had 2,000 people that were on a waiting list hoping to be able to come and work with us, which was crazy. But more people want to come because they can bring their families. We let little children come and volunteer, and then they're teaching their kids about philanthropy.
It's terrific. The numbers of children that you serve and the number of people who are involved in a hands-on sort of volunteering basis are just staggering. It's tremendous, the impact you have. And you're best known, for your Christmas time program. But let's talk about the back to school, the backpack drive. Where did that come from, and how did you move into to that program as well?
That's kind of one of the embarrassing stories of the Giving Tree. So for 5 years, we had the holiday drive, and I was working full-time with the Giving Tree, and we weren't earning any money. It was all volunteer-based. But people would ask me all the time, well, what do you do during the rest of the year? And I would say, oh, well, elves, Santa's elves work all year round to make Christmas happen. And that was like my thing. And after like the 40th time I got asked the 5th year of the Giving Tree, I said, you know what? The Family Giving Tree has a back-to-school drive, and we collect backpacks with school supplies for needy kids. And it was born. And I don't know where it came from. It was just a gift, came out of my mouth, and we started it.
All right, let's talk about challenge.
Wait, so you have a history. You let an idea out and it just happened.
Yes.
Yes.
Do you have that kind of problem, Todd?
I love that problem.
Around your house?
My wife might see this. I'm going to just probably, I'll just.
Yeah.
Zip it right now.
I'm going to tell Cheryl. So, this is too much. Sorry about this, folks. But how do you deal with, what problems come up? What were the challenges, other than
the warehouse, really is our biggest challenge. Turning people away that want to help us is a challenge. Finding enough places to send the wish cards to can be a challenge. So with about 350 agencies that we serve and collecting the wishes of all those children, the really important thing to me clearly is that we get exactly what the child asked for from a donor to the child. And that's really what we do, is we fill that space of connecting those needs. And so if we can't find enough places to send those wish cards, that is unbelievably stressful. And then you will see me again on the newspaper and TV or whatever begging for people to take the wish cards. And so we figured out a few things to do to help with that, like we have them online now. So we can actually say, hey, please go to the website and you can take a wish card. And that's been really helpful. Has relieved a lot of the stress. And we haven't ever in all 27 years not succeeded with all of our kids.
Good. Well, again, you have lots of volunteers coming in. What sort of feedback do you get from folks about what is it that they get out of volunteering for your organization?
That's a great question.
I think our volunteers, we share the same spirit of wanting to make the world a better place. And what we've really done a good job with at the Giving Tree is creating a volunteer environment that's completely positive. So you come in, we'll get you registered and trained in the first 10 minutes you're there, and you're going to have a 2-hour shift, and you're going to accomplish something in those 2 hours, right? And so the volunteers, they come in, they understand what they're doing, they understand the value of what they're doing, they complete something, and they're thanked as they leave. And then if they were able to bring their families with them, then they have an opportunity to use that as their teachable moments, right, and to continue the learning. And we actually have hundreds of families who use the Family Giving Tree holiday drive as their holiday tradition. And those kids, even now, they're in college. They used to come when they were like so big, and now that they're in college, those kids come back, and the whole family still comes and does volunteer work.
And Jennifer, I think that's an important piece of the puzzle, that the volunteers do feel like they're doing something productive. Many times I volunteer for different organizations. I know Todd probably did. Yeah. And you show up, and maybe you stand around for an hour, and you're not using. You're wondering, why did I even show up?
Yeah.
And I know that we've volunteered at your organization, and you put us to work right away.
As fast as we can.
As fast as you can. That's
Yeah.
really good. Well, let's talk about. Obviously, you got your degree here.
A couple of them.
From San Jose State. What rewards do you personally get from doing what you're doing?
So my father used to think that I was a good person magnet. That was what he told me when I was growing up. You're a good person magnet. And probably the 10th, 11th year of the Giving Tree, I was already a Rotarian by then. We had a bunch of people from a motorcycle gang show up to do volunteer work at the warehouse, and they brought us a bunch of gifts, and we ended up giving them some things to take to a children's hospital, and just had a wonderful experience with them. And I got to take pictures in my elf costume sitting on their motorcycles, and off they went. And then right after that, I had some folks come up and say, "Are you crazy? Those people are in gangs. They're dangerous. I can't believe that you risked your..." And I said, no. I get the best of everyone who I come in contact with. It isn't necessarily that I'm a good person magnet, but I will get the best of anyone who comes to deal with the Family Giving Tree. And I think that is what I get out of it, the best of everybody.
Great.
That's fantastic. You do a lot here in the Bay Area with serving a lot of kids and families. What other dreams do you have in terms of what the Family Giving Tree might be able to do and accomplish?
My first goal was to reach 1 million children, and that we did in 2013. Then my next goal was to reach 100,000 children in 1 year. I really, really wanted to get that, and we did that a few years ago. And so my next goal is to get to our second millionth person served, but I would love for the Giving Tree not to be just a Silicon Valley charity. I think that there are children everywhere that need, and there are certainly people everywhere that can give. And I really think that the system we've set up is so simple, and it's so easy. It's not easy for my staff, but it's easy out there in the world to help people.
Well, you made it look easy.
Well, thank you.
I know it's not.
Yeah, my 20 staff would be looking at this going, "It's not that easy, Jen." But I really do believe this is a model people can take and do in other places. And so I would love to see the Family Giving Tree be a national charity.
Well, thank you very much, and you look great in
Thank
purple.
you.
Really decked out there. So thanks for taking the time. And
My pleasure.
Todd and I wish you lots of success in the future and keep
So,
giving.
If folks want to, give to your organization, volunteer, where do they find out more?
FamilyGivingTree.org website.
And that will be for the back to school program
Both.
also.
Yeah,
Great.
Family Giving Tree.
Terrific. Jen, thanks so much for sharing your story, your organization, and what you do with our community. It's great to have you as a Milpetian. We love having you, and as a Rotarian, and a real important part of what makes Milpitas a special place. So thank you.
Thank you.
The following is a public service announcement test to determine if you need a fishing license and boat registration before you head out on the water. Let us begin. Are you a pelican? Does this look like your house? Is this your idea of fishing with friends? Do you use your feet as fishing hooks? Are you your own boat? Do you have webbed feet? No, I mean like a... That's the one. Do you want this in your favorite lake? Yuck, yike. No thanks, mister. Regardless how you answered, you need to be licensed and registered because it helps local conservation efforts protect the very natural resources you enjoy boating and fishing in for generations to come. Do your part at takemefishing.org.
Welcome back, everyone. You're watching Valley Homes on TV. Debbie and Giordano, and Todd Flesner, a local loan broker here, to give us a wrap-up of what's going on with the Milpitas home market, interest rates, etc. for the month of April.
So April, we're right in the midst of spring, and that's traditionally home buying season.
It is. It's already feeling like that. Yeah.
So
is.
good. So we'll update folks on what's happening there.
Right.
So what do you got, Deb?
Well, open house last weekend. Actually, I opened house on Easter Sunday, and then also the past weekend, I had 125 families through
Wow.
the open house. It's the one on Easter Avenue in the Manor area, priced at $799. And we got 4 offers on the house, and we sold it at $851.
That's a very common story that I'm hearing these days. Lots of foot traffic at open houses, lots of offers, multiple offers over asking
Over
price.
asking is what we're getting. Yeah, no break yet in the market in terms of.
Well, there's a real imbalance, I think, in inventory versus demand right now, and there just aren't enough homes for the number of folks that would like to buy homes.
So I did another market update for I do a weekly video Comcast or podcast, and I noted today that there were 7 new listings in Milpitas that came up in the last 6 days.
In the whole city of Milpitas.
Yeah, but the inventory is
Okay.
growing.
Okay,
so
good.
As we report out to folks, I think we're going to see a little bit higher. This is the season where more properties do come up, and
good.
buyers got that available.
Good.
So.
Well,
So,
we'll look forward to that.
Well, I know you do a lot of pre-approvals
I
for
do.
buyers. We were talking about that, and we always urge, as a real estate broker, to have the buyers go in and get pre-approved first before they go out and shop to know what they can afford to buy. But how about a few hints that I picked up in the San Jose Mercury recently about buying your first home and how to get fiscally fit?
Terrific.
Number 1, do those daily sprints. People who reach their fitness goals begin with a look at their current habits and then make a plan to replace those with better ones. Number 2, crunch your debt. Take a look at your debts and consider the monthly payments you make. Are there any debts outstanding in the way of making a house payment? Number 3, beef up your credit score, and I bet you do that with folks.
Absolutely, it's critical.
Critical. The good habits you exercise today will make all the difference on your interest rate. I'm assuming that interest rates are geared toward credit score too?
Well, yeah, there are several key factors that go with credit, or the interest rate, and credit score is one of those. The higher the score, the better the interest rate.
Do you know what is the usually number you want to shoot for?
740 and above, you're going to be able to get pretty much the best loan products, best interest rates out there.
Okay.
Some loan products won't entertain a score under 700 in the jumbo loan category.
Okay, so that's definitely an important piece of the puzzle. Increase your intake of savings. Even when you're paying down debt, it's still a good idea that you start a small savings plan in the event of an emergency, like new tires on a car, or need to go to the doctor or something. And then prepare for the big event. All these steps will lead to the big event, buying a home. Once you meet the smaller goals by eliminating debt, raising credit scores, saving for a down payment, you're ready to go, and of course, get pre-approved. Figure out how much home you can afford.
Well, I like the analogy to fitness, because fitness, it takes dedication, right? And it takes doing a little bit every day to get fit. You don't get fit in just a week or whatever. It's a little bit every day, and it's the same thing with your finances. Is doing and taking the right steps on a daily basis, little things that make a difference.
And I suspect when you're dealing with clients, you take them through that process also.
Absolutely.
And help them.
Absolutely, and I'm always more than willing to do just a checkup with folks. Where are you? What's your goal? And then can we help to put in place a workout routine for you in terms of your finances that will help you to achieve your objective?
Great. Would you like to hear what's going on with some MLS?
Absolutely, I'd love
updates?
to.
Okay, March 2016, a year ago, we had a single-family home, average price of $905,000, median price of $856,000, and it's interesting. It hasn't changed, though. From March of 2017, we're at $945,000 average price, and a median price was $915,000. If you recall, it was a month or 2 months ago, we hit $1 million.
We did.
So it is vacillating a little bit around, and it depends on which homes get sold on multiple listing. There's a variety of factors that go into calculating these numbers, but, so the mid-9s are seeming to hold,
Okay.
but I think I think we're really closer to 1 million, and I think you'll see that again.
I would, hazard a guess that that's probably correct.
And I can tell you that the townhome, the condo market has really done well. Last year in March of 2016, we were at 631,000 for an average price, and that's bumped up now to 784,000, and 665 for a medium price, and 815 for also a medium price for last month. That just seems to be it's interesting that there's not much of a gap between condos and single families, is there? And I think,
that's right.
I still think maybe within the next 3 to 6 months, that gap's gonna widen again.
Well, yeah, I think that there are a couple of different things. One of them is lifestyle choice for people too, right?
You're right.
You
The
know,
younger generation, they really sometimes don't want a yard. They don't want that upkeep, and they want to be able to have that carefree
Right.
lifestyle.
or maybe perhaps folks that have an occupation that takes them on the road, right, where they want the security of having a condo and not having to worry about some of the other things that go
We
with
never
it.
thought in the past that the condos would have that much demand, but for that type of that lifestyle would work around that.
Right, but as I think as our environment around us has changed and job demands have changed, the housing needs for folks change as well, and so. But here in Milpitas, we have a good mix of both single-family
do.
homes and condos for folks to choose from.
We do. They're good. Well, let's see. Real quick, interest rates.
Interest rates have remained in the mid to low fours, depending upon the loan amount and the loan product for 30-year fixed rate loans. So interest rates remain at very, very low levels historically, not quite at our all-time lows, but just above that. So that helps to keep the affordability quotient in check, even as we see some of the prices going up a little bit here.
Good.
In real estate.
And the future, what possible another Fed increase?
They're talking about perhaps another 2 or perhaps even 3 increases from the Fed this year. My guess is probably more like 2. We had a little bit of euphoria in the stock market coming out of the election, which really caused interest rates to go up. And this week we've seen another good little bump in the stock market.
Mm-hmm.
And so there's that interplay between the stock market and interest rates, and that's kind of what I'm going to be watching going forward. As the Fed really looks at how the economy is doing and the strength of our economy, that's going to drive those interest rate increases coming up
Well,
later
the
this
economy
year.
locally here is very strong, isn't it?
It is, and
Unbelievable.
I think that the rest of the country is starting to come along as well. We always seem to lead the country in terms of economic recovery.
All right.
So.
Well, Todd, I think we'll sign off for now, and see if folks need to contact you.
Yeah, let's see. Email tflesner@opusadvisors.com is a great way to get a hold of me. And for yourself?
For me, GiordanoDJ@AOL.com. Well, we'll see you folks next month.
Great.
Thank you.
Been great having everybody with us.
Thank you.